Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Different video for you today. So these are some budget RGB baselit lightsabers from Dynamic Sabers. I have the Dominion, and then these two, I don't remember the exact names. I'll put it in the thing. I might even edit in the names here. This one is, these two are both from the Apprentice collection. This one's from the Night collection that they have. So this one I will put the name either in editing or in the description, and same with this one, editing or description, however I decide to do that. Post talking to myself in the future. They're really cool. They are dueling sabers, so you can use them full contact. They're polycarbonate blades. They have a modular design, so I'll start with this one, the Dominion. This is the one I got for myself. I got the other two for my kids, and just for like filmmaking and stuff, because I'm into that. So we'll go ahead and unscrew this puppy. So it's a modular saber. It comes in 3 pieces, and you can actually make these into stabs as well. I think you specifically need this piece right here, but this one has that, so cool. So yeah, that is the internals. This is how you charge it. This is the motherboard. They all are pretty much the same sound font from what I can tell. There's some slight differences to them, and like their sound qualities and speakers are a little bit different. This one's probably the best, and this one, the black one, is probably the worst speaker. I think mostly it's because the speaker is somewhere here, which is where the best spot to hold it is for its weight distribution. So it tends to, your hand tends to cover up the speaker. I would show you what they look like without the blades on them, but unfortunately these blades are super tedious to put on. So when you first get it, it's just gonna be the saber itself, and then the blade's separate. And you'll see these screws here, so you have to actually stick the blade in and screw it in. And they're really small screws, and I don't really feel like fiddling with them. It's completely aluminum from what I understand. And this one in particular is really well made. I will say this is really stiff, which might be for the best. I'm not sure, I'm undecided on that. This D-ring. The pommel feels really nice. It's super heavy. Like it's heavier than my Yaido Takemitsu swords that I've trained with. Like just the handle is. So this whole thing is heavier than my training swords that I tend to use. I'd say it's probably about as heavy as my Shinai maybe, but it's all in the handle. This blade is super light, almost like non-existent. There's a little bit of weight, you can feel it dip right there, see? So it is balanced pretty well right there at the tip, but I like to hold this one right about here. So that's this one. I'll light them up after too. This blade is really well made. The only criticism I have about all 3 of these really is that they're not the most comfortable in the hand when you're spinning them around. This one in particular is really rough here on the pommel. I don't know if you can see that, but this is very jagged. It feels great if you're just swinging it. It has a lot of grip, but as soon as you start to spin it, this really grinds your hand a lot. And if you hold it here, the problem is this is quite a long hilt, if you can see that. So the problem is if you spin it at the top, a lot of the times this will catch your forearm because it's too long. It doesn't have the clearance that it needs. There's definitely ways around it, and these buttons are a little finicky, so you'll tend to hit the buttons and it'll either turn the saber off or make noises and stuff, which is kind of annoying. At least when you're trying to like do cool spins and stuff. But as just a prop itself, and like probably for actually sparring, I think this thing's gonna be a lot of fun to use. Anyway, moving on. So that's the Dominion from their Night collection. Also, I will say that I was a bit worried when I first purchased from Dynamic Sabers, because these are budget lightsabers around $100. This one's about 180, I think. I was worried because I've heard mixed things about them. I looked some video reviews up. People were very impressed with their work, but I've heard things from like Reddit and other forums online that sometimes, you know, you're getting what you paid for on these. The quality is not always there. This one came with extra buttons, by the way. So these buttons here, I have no idea how I'd actually go about replacing them. I imagine I'd have to take all these things apart to disassemble this. But these buttons, you can get backup buttons. And it also came with a belt clip. But the instruction manual for this one didn't account for the 2-button setup. So I ended up having to look up forums online on even how to use these 2 buttons. It's very similar to the 1-button setup. If you're familiar with the lightsabers, I'll show you when I get to that part in the video. But they turn on and they have motion controls. And there's also the buttons that you can change a bunch of sounds on them and sound fonts and stuff. So if you're familiar with lightsabers, there's a lot of sound in these, and there's a lot of customization you can do, but it's all tied to the buttons and the motion. And this one did not come with the correct instruction manual, so that's my biggest criticism of dynamic sabers, is that the instruction manual for these 2-button sabers, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't exist. I can't find it on the website either. I sent them an email about it, specifically asking about the buttons, how to use them, but I found most of the answers through Reddit, luckily. And I'll go over how to use this from my understanding in a minute. The belt clip, I would love to use it. It's like a weird flat piece though, and this is a very round saber. So I don't know where it's intended to be fastened to. Like I keep looking for like maybe there's a slide or something that I can do, or maybe this plate comes off and then you put it there. But there's no instructions on it, and I really don't want to mess with it because this is my first 3 sabers I got for me and the kids. But anyway, I'll move on from this one, the Dominion, to this one, which is probably currently my favorite for spinning. This piece right here, I'll actually take this off real fast if I can. Sometimes it's super tight if you well, that's what it looks like when it gets turned on. I press the button for too long. So you twist on and off, and then you just hold this button until it flashes and it'll go dark to turn it off. I'll get to the lights in a second. But this one so far is my favorite to spin just because it's the smoothest, so it doesn't hurt too bad. Although again, it's got these ridges here are pretty smooth, but once you start actually spinning with it, they really start to grind on your hand here. So it's not the best ever. This piece right here is a modular piece. It got stuck last night too, and I couldn't get it off until I screwed it onto this one. So I think that's just the case now. But it's just because I don't have enough leverage to twist it with just my hand. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so if I'm sniffling and it's gross, I do apologize. But same thing with this one. These are all internal chargers. So pull it out. There's the board and the battery and the charging port there. They do recommend that you use a 5-watt 1.0 volt charger. Just simple USB. They recommend that you can use it through your computer USB as well. They take about 2 to 4 hours to charge fully. Luckily these guys came charged, so I was able to mess around with them, but they do say on their website they don't always come charged. They are a second-hand seller, that's why people are iffy on them. But no, I really like this saber. This one came with a wrap. Now this is my criticism here. It came with a wrap for the handle to like have a leather piece here. I would love to use it just to see how it looks. It looked really cool in the pictures. The only problem, maybe this is just a fault of me not being familiar with it, it only had one side of sticky on it at the top. So once I got done wrapping it, there was nowhere to secure it. And then I tried to do it the other side. So I removed it, it's still sticky. and then I tried to wrap it loose and then use the sticky at the end to fasten it. Two problems with that. The first problem was that the sticky wasn't actually at the very end of the blade, so I would have had to cut the leather, or whatever it's made of, probably not leather, it's probably like some pleather material. But also it was still super loose, so I could just twist the handle. So I'm gonna need to get some like adhesive stuff to just like remount it, and then I can just loop it in. Because I think I do want it just for the aesthetic purposes, but I don't know, it's kind of growing on me just being this blank gunmetal color. I did, this one had a few customizations, so it was, I think, a black, the normal gray, and then gunmetal, and I got the gunmetal. I did notice just before filming that there's little metal shavings here, like whenever they printed this out or casted this or however they do it, wherever they get it from, I guess, whoever does it, they didn't get all these pieces off, so there's a little bit of some jagged metal in there. Nothing bad, it doesn't cut me or anything, but just noting that. And again, this thing is super tight now, ever since I unscrewed it and then combined these two. It's been super tight and very difficult to get on and off, which I'm guessing that's probably not intentional, because the rest of it's like super easy to unscrew, but very secure. I also noticed this button here isn't fully flush with the saber. You can actually see how it's screwed on, so that's a bit of a concern. Again, I've heard horror stories about these guys, so I'll update if they end up not working at some point. But yeah, so again, the leather piece might just be my ignorance, but it does not go on as intended, which was unfortunate, but I still have the piece. It was very easy to pull they had like a prop, what's the stuff? I don't remember what it's called, spirit gum or something, to like fasten it. That's all they use. So I just pulled it off, and it was, you know. So I'm probably gonna do that, but just do it on both sides and then wrap it. Maybe, I don't know, because I kind of like it like this now. Moving on to the final one. Now this one, I actually think I really like this aesthetic, because when this lights up, it has that cool effect right there, and I really like that. So yeah. Now this one is also actually pretty comfortable to spin. It's the lightest one of them because it's the smallest. There's probably some other things as to why it's lighter, but it's the most comfortable in terms of like initial hand feel to spin. However, again, all of these ridges are super rough. They're not smoothed down at all. There's no like rubber on them or anything. They're all metal, which makes them feel super nice at first. When you first pull these out, I was not expecting these to be so heavy. I was expecting them to be like some cheap toy. No, these are like legit props. But again, it's just one of those things. Oops. I wonder if they need to tighten this actually. Maybe. They're also pretty durable. Like you could throw these things, I'm pretty sure, and they'll be fine. Because they're meant to like hit with. Like you can full contact, just go to town. I'm super excited to try these. Maybe make a video with a friend or something. But yeah, no, this one, really like it for spinning too. But again, once you start going, like my hand's already kind of raw just from demoing these now. Okay, so we'll get into the lighting. So here's the button for the one buttons. You hold it until it clicks on, and now it's engaged. It's in standby mode right now. So if you want to turn it on, you can either click it or you can rotate it. So rotate it on. You can hear it's making a noise. This is its standby noise. It's got smooth swing. And it increases the volume and pitch and stuff to make in line for that. It doesn't have, some of these have like it'll make a cutting effect. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have flash on flash. And you can get it to hold, I'm not going to do it, you can get it to do what it's called like a saber clash or hold clash or something, it's honestly very obnoxious. I imagine it's just the quality of the soundboard is not the best. I don't like it. I actually don't even really like the flash and clash, because it's when you're spinning, sometimes you like hit something and that happens. Not ideal. But I'm leaving it on for now because I think the kids will really enjoy like that effect. Like, oh, it's doing a thing. I think they'll like that a lot, so I'm leaving it on for now. So yeah, if you want to change the sound font, you hold the button, and then you twist. You point the saber to the sky, and you twist. So now it's got a different sound font. And all of these have the same sound font, so I'll go through them real quick. I'm sad. A lot of the boards. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know the most famous line from Obi-Wan Kenobi is "Hello there," and I'm sad because this is Kenobi's blade. And I'm sad that they didn't use the "hello there" for his noises, but oh, also, if you hit the button, it does a saber deflection. Again, I honestly wish I could disable that, but that's Darth Vader, I believe. There's like 3 Darth Vaders on here though, so I'm not really sure about that. Darth Sidious, Cal Kestis, Yoda. I don't know what this one is, but it sounds real weird when you turn it on. It's real like fiery. I don't like it.
Wait, is this training? My training? No. Always training. The universe is.
I believe that's Luke. Pretty sure that's Luke. I just wish it like said their names or something. I don't love the way they do it. For some of them it's fun. For others it's kind of obnoxious. And then
I'm told it is the dark saber.
Mandalorian dark saber.
Star Killer.
Star Killer from the Force Unleashed video games. So maybe that's Obi-Wan? Maybe he's got multiple. Not sure. This one I really like. I think this is Kylo Ren's. I just love the igniter sound. Sounds very cool. I wish these had. I really want to get a Neopixel, which means that there's like technology in the sword itself. These are just hollow sticks. These ones, because they're baselit, it's just a flashlight basically. But the other ones, they have effects and they can actually like shoot out, and you can like ignite it like this and other ways. It's very cool. But for the price, I think these things are worth it so far.
Yeah.
That's Leia? Actually, no. I'm guessing that's from the new movies. I never watched past the second movie, so I don't know. That's Darth Vader. I'm guessing from episode 4. Ahsoka, I really like Ahsoka. It's got a cool noise to it.
Tell me. I am told Star Killer. Leia.
So you can do it pretty fast. If you turn it upside down while it's off and twist it, it'll make it'll like do soundtrack. So that's cool. And then there's a bunch of other effects. The instruction manual is super intuitive for these one-button setups. You can disable flash on clash and all kinds of stuff. When you have it on, You can change the effect of the blade from 3 different effects. This is honestly the only one I think is good, but flash warning coming, so divert your eyes until I say flash warning over if you have any issues, because I think it's the next one. But you hold it up, hold the button, again, flash warning, divert your eyes if you have any kind of epileptic issue. And that's a strobe effect there, and then just the normal one. Those are the only 3. Flash warning is over. Again, in my opinion, for these sabers, I think this is the only actual usable one. Going forward, in case I start messing with this, if you do have epilepsy or anything like that, this is probably a bad video to watch because these things have some crazy effects, and sometimes they happen on accident, so, you know, be careful watching lightsaber videos if you have epilepsy. Lightsabers are an epileptic's nightmare. Final thing, see, like that. You can change the color, so you hold it down and hold the button, and then you can cycle through a couple different colors. I really like the cyan, especially with the Ahsoka noises. Personally, cyan is like one of my favorite lightsaber colors. I use it a lot in the Jedi Survivor game. So there's that. You can also change the volume of the sabers. It goes from, it only has 3 volume settings: muted, low volume, and high volume. I like to have them high volume because what's the point of a saber if it's not the centerpiece of your attention? This one, so same thing as the other one. Turn it on like that. And then all of the other things are the same as the other one and this one. So I would recommend, if you're into lightsaber props and you want something for pretty cheap, I haven't stress tested these fully yet, but so far I'm pretty impressed with them. And with the fact that I'm using them mostly for my kids to play dress up, they're phenomenal. So, as you can see, the lights are on those 2, so that means they are on. This one's a bit different with the 2-button setup. There's a couple ways to turn it on. Basically, both of these buttons will turn it on. If you press this button, it'll turn it on and change the sound font at the same time. I really don't like that. If you just press this button, it'll turn it on and ignite it right away, which I really do like, because it means you can just like instantly go. Hold this button, the top button, to turn it off, and then it's completely off. Or you could hold it and how these ones click on. This I was pretty sure you could. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's this button. Both buttons. No? Huh. I guess I'm just wrong. I guess the only way to turn it on is to ignite it, which is not the best. I could have sworn you could just hold this button. No? Okay. Either way, I do like that you can just ignite it right away, and then it still works the same. And this button, instead of, so for these, when they're on, you have to hold down the button to turn them off, like the blade off. For this one, you can just press the button once to turn it off, because this button is the blade button, and this button is a sound button. Which is also nice because you can just change the sounds just by pressing this button, and it just changes the sounds. I really like this one too because it's two-handed. It's almost like exactly a katana handle, maybe a little bit longer, but I'm into it. I'm into it a lot. One of my biggest criticisms is this here. I don't know how well it shows up in the camera, but this ring here is not appealing, but it's just a case of the RGB That's just a case of the RGB light. It's just a flashlight that travels through the tube, and because of this cap here, it just shows through very obviously. With the Neopixels, because they are lined with LEDs, you don't get that because it's fully lit from top to bottom. But again, for being a budget lightsaber, comes fully customized, and this one's pretty detailed as well. I do think it's worth the price so far from what I've been able to test with it. With that said, I have one other thing, more of a bonus sort of cosplay item. And again, you can see these lights are on. That means the blade is on standby mode and ready to go. Last little thing, I have a costume coming, but this is a helmet I got to sort of like mimic a Sith Lord thing. It's just like some cyberpunk helmet I found on Amazon. Not the best quality, but it's super cheap for what it was. And obviously I'm not wearing anything in the back, so it looks a little goofy. But I recommend if you get something like this, putting a hood on it. And then also these straps don't really tighten that well, which is a bummer. But they tighten enough. But I mean, as long as you're not going to be like jumping off a building with it, it's going to stay on. Like, it's comfortable. It hasn't really slipped too much. I'm, basically at a smosh pit right now. And this one also has LEDs, and they do have rechargeable batteries as well. Is it on, I think? Yeah. Hard to tell when they're on if you don't have a camera to look at. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna do a little spinny spin deal, and hopefully everyone enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to seeing me do more reviews like this, and maybe I can show off some cool stunts with the sabers and stuff at some point. I will also show the staff, although I can't really spin it in my house too much, but I'll show you what it looks like in the staff mode when I cut. So, alright, look forward to that. See you in a second. See the I'm a little afraid. I'm a little afraid to spin it the way I would normally. My hand's already feeling wrong, but. Not super good with my left hand either. Hopefully that looks decent. I don't know. My roof is kind of low, and there's a lot of stuff around me, and I'm a tall guy, so it's hard to really let loose in the house with these things. This one, definitely hard to completely give it my all, but yeah. Also, I'm a big advocate of warming up. If you decide to do something like this, warm up your wrists, warm up your elbows, warm up your shoulders, warm up your chest, back, and legs to some extent, especially your wrists, elbows, and shoulders, because this is going to be very taxing on those joints, especially as you start to go faster and do it more. So just a heads up. So you can disable the flash on flash, and I should have done it before this video, but it gives you the more real experience of how these things are going to look. So, yeah, this one's definitely the most comfortable. And I can easily spin it in my fingers too, which is nice. It's nice and weighty, so you can easily toss it back and forth between your hands. I definitely need to practice my reverse spins a lot more, especially on my left, because I want to go more outward instead of downward. It's really hard to do the Aniobi on my left side versus now it doesn't do the flash and clash. It's fun though, especially if you have a dummy. Let me see if I can put like hard in the house. Interesting. I don't know if that's coming up in the camera or not. But you can see a stress line here with something. I'm definitely gonna have to stress test these guys. This is pretty fun to do kendo with him though. So that's that. They're very cool, guys. And they something I hadn't tested yet is when they're lit up. When they're in standby mode, so they're on technically. It looks like they do have an auto power saving mode, because that did work. All right. I also really like for filmmaking, holding it here so that your face is lit up camera side, and then drifting it to the side so that your face starts to become accosted in darkness. The other side is lit up, completely down so that you can no longer see your face. You can only see the glow of the red from the dark, and then just, right? Like, I'm sure they've probably done that in movies, but I think it's a cool idea. So this is the one that I said was the hardest to spin, because you want to spin it from down here, because this is where the best weight for spinning is, because you have a lot of weight in the top, so you can drift it. Problem is that this really grinds your hand. So I would say if you're going to use this for spinning, nothing more than that, honestly. Like, use it like you would like a great sword or something. You know how they like that, like over your head, because you're not going to hurt yourself, because this is actually a really comfortable grip if you're just holding it in the hand like this, like you would a two-handed sword. But the moment you start trying to like flourish with it, you're either choking up so high, and there's a good chance you're going to hit these buttons, or, and also again, with the, like I have to choke up on the blade just to get that spin, because otherwise I'm going to either hit the buttons or I'm going to hit. And also just naturally my hand drifts. So if I try to do it down here, it's much more reasonable. But it hurts so bad. Definitely the worst part about this sword is it's not going to be the trick sword at all. It's going to be the prop sword. You know, it looks cool. I only have it red for the kids, by the way. I'm going to like dress up as a Sith Lord and kind of come out and they're going to like ignite and we're going to, you know, mess around. But it'd be cool. That's really it. I guess I'm not the best at spinning or anything. Oh, I guess I'll cut and I'll show you the staff setup as well. Quick little bonus before I forget. Staff mode, you can completely customize this too. All these pieces are modular. But how cool is that? Roof issue. So, yeah, that's probably my roof. Gotta be careful. But I need to take this puppy outside and really give it a literal twirl. It just comes off like that. Super nice and easy. Not the best at spinning or anything. Still practicing, especially with my left hand. And these swords are rubbing me raw, man. But it's still cool. It's still cool. And I don't know. That's it, really. Probably gonna edit a ton of this video out. But if you enjoyed that, please leave me a like, consider subscribing, and let me know if you want any advice on tutorials or anything like that. Again, I bought all these from Dynamic Sabers. They came in about a week, a little bit less actually, it was like 5 days or so. They came early, which was nice. Yeah, I would probably consider buying from them again. These things are so much fun though. And I love that this one's a two-handed. You know? Kind of thing. And also just the swing, like it would be like a long sword or something. Sorry, they're so much fun though. So much fun. If you are a nerd like me, and you have not purchased one of these yet, do yourself a favor. Again, Dynamic Sabers. I'm not sponsored, but I am happy with my purchase. And there's not enough reviews from them. Like their website reviews, kind of sketchy, honestly. And the people online, their reviews are either not that in depth. I hope this was in depth enough. Just talking about the features and stuff. Because honestly, the only features I care about, right, are the flash on clash. Blaster deflection. You know, the lockup. I don't like the lockup. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even gonna show you because it's real bad. I don't even know how to turn it on this one because it's much more confusing to use. Mostly because there's no instruction manual for this one, which is also another problem with Dynamic Sabers. Just trying to think like to round up real quick so I don't praise them too much. Because again, these are budget RGB baselit sabers, not Neopixels. You can get Neopixels from other places for less money than they're selling these. And I've heard really good things. I need to try them myself, but it's sort of, you know, I would recommend these for a first-time buyer because it seems like it's a pretty safe bet. And from what I've heard, it's better to use RGBs for the kind of stuff that I want to use them for. Let them work. So it comes off. I'm guessing it's from hitting this. We'll see. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Again, if you liked it, please consider leaving a like. Give me a comment on what you want to see next, and if you have any experience on the matter, let me know. And consider subscribing if you want more content. Bye-bye.